A small town, a gruesome crime, a mystery so terrifying, Hollywood turned it into a horror film. But unlike the movies, this story has no ending, no killer caught, no justice served, just a real-life nightmare that still haunts investigators today. This is the unsolved murder that inspired one of the scariest films of all time, and why the truth might be even darker than fiction. We've all seen horror movies where a masked killer stalks their victims. The music builds, the tension rises, but when the credits roll, the fear fades because it's just a story. Now imagine if that story was real, if the killer was never caught, and if decades later you could still visit the exact spot where it happened. That's exactly what makes this case so chilling. The crime that shocked a town. In 1946, the quiet town of Texarkana, a killer known as the Phantom began stalking young couples, his method sneaking up on them in secluded areas, lovers' lanes, back roads, then attacking without warning. The first two couples survived. The next two weren't so lucky. The murders were brutal. The crime scenes, straight out of a nightmare, and the police, completely clueless, no fingerprints, no footprints, just whispers of a shadowy figure who moved like a ghost. The Hollywood connection. In 1976, this case inspired the Town That Dreaded Sundown. Horror film so shocking, audiences couldn't believe it was based on real events. But here's the twist. The movie got some things right, and got other things horribly wrong. For example, the movie shows the killer wearing a burlap sack. Reality, no one knows what he looked like. The movie ends with the killer being caught. Reality, he vanished without a trace. Why was it never solved? This wasn't some master criminal. This was the 1940s, no DNA, no surveillance cameras, the police had nothing, and the killer, he knew it. Think of it like this. If you turned off your phone's GPS and walked into a forest, how would anyone track you? That's what this killer did. He struck in the dead of night, left no clues, and then disappeared. The biggest theories: one, a copycat killer. Some believe the Phantom was inspired by the Moonlight Murders of 1912, another unsolved case with eerie similarities. Was this a sick tribute, or just a coincidence? Two, a local with a secret. The killer knew the area too well. Back roads, escape routes. Was he a farmer, a trucker? Someone everyone trusted. Three, something else in Texarkana. Some still whisper about the Phantom, like he wasn't human, a ghost, a demon, or just a man who became a legend. The legacy of fear today. The murders are part of Texarkana's identity. The film plays annually at the local theater. Tourists visit the crime scenes, and the families of the victims, they still wait for answers, because unlike the movies, this story doesn't have an ending. The biggest question: who was the Phantom? A man who got lucky, a genius who planned every detail. There's not, or something worse, a killer so ordinary, he blended might back into everyday life. What do you think happened in Texarkana? Was the killer ever someone's neighbor, their friend, or did he die that same year, taking his secrets to the grave? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more real-life mysteries that inspired horror, hit subscribe, because sometimes the scariest stories are the ones we still can't explain.